What began with the flicker of a match and a lone wolf seems to have turned into a full-blown criminal investigation with political implications. And today, I suppose we have to reflect on the troubling development that has now led to 3 arrests, all connected to suspected arson attacks on properties linked to the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. This isn't just a matter of criminal damage, it's a story about political intimidation, public safety, and the security of democratic life in Britain. Between the 8th of May and May the 12th, 3 separate fires were reported at sites linked to Starmer. First, a Toyota was set ablaze in Kentish Town, a car he'd sold to a neighbour. Second, a small but targeted fire at a former residence in Islington. And finally, the most serious, a blaze at the front entrance of his family home, now rented to his sister-in-law. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the message was unmistakable. Someone was trying to make a point through fire. And in response, the Metropolitan Police, led by its counter-terrorism command, launched a high-priority investigation. Their reasoning was stark and simple. Any attempt to endanger the life of a high-profile public figure is not just a crime, it's a potential threat to national security. The first arrest came swiftly. Roman Lavrinovich, a 21-year-old Ukrainian national and builder from Sydenham, was detained in the early hours of May the 13th. He's since been charged with 3 counts of arson with intent to endanger life. At his court appearance last Friday, he spoke only to confirm his identity. Assisted by a Ukrainian interpreter, he's currently remanded in custody and is due to appear at the Old Bailey on June the 6th. Lavrinovich notably denied involvement in police interviews. His background appears at least superficially innocuous: a young man who studied in Britain as a child, who returned to London from Germany after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, who had started a small construction firm. He'd also signed with a modelling agency. His father has since claimed he was pro-Ukraine, anti-Russian, and had no motive for political violence. But the police remain convinced of his involvement. Then over the weekend came 2 more arrests. On Saturday, May the 17th, a 26-year-old man was apprehended at Luton Airport. The Met was granted an extension to question him further under a warrant of additional detention. And now, most recently, a 34-year-old man has been arrested on the morning of Monday, May the 19th, in an affluent area of Chelsea. Both were arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to commit arson with an intent to endanger life. And little has been released about their identities or their motives. What we do know is that counter-terror police are actively investigating the possibility of a much wider conspiracy and, crucially, whether foreign influence or organised networks are involved. The phrase hostile state involvement has been whispered, though not officially confirmed, and the implication is chilling that these fires may not have been random acts of malice, but part of a targeted campaign of disruption against the Prime Minister. Sir Keir Starmer, speaking in the Commons, described these attacks as an assault on all of us, on democracy and on the values that underpin our society. And he's right. The moment a public servant becomes a target for violent intimidation, the state itself is on trial. The Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch and Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick joined in condemning the attacks, calling them disgraceful and emphasising the need for civility in public life. It's not often that all parties unite in defence of a Prime Minister's safety, but the gravity of this case has momentarily reminded the Commons of its collective duty to protect not just persons but principles. And the case also raises urgent questions. Are our elected officials sufficiently protected, especially those with publicly known residences? Should social media and property databases be more tightly controlled to avoid enabling doxing and political targeting? We must await the evidence, the trials, and the outcome of forensic police work. But what is already clear is that this is not a minor legal matter. This is about protecting the right to disagree without fear, to lead without being hunted, to live without wondering if the front door is a target. 3 arrests, 3 fires, 1 warning. Democracy is not just fought at the ballot box. Sometimes it must be defended on the street, at the doorstep, and in court. And let's hope that the justice system responds with clarity, strength, and fairness.